Well, we're finally sailing again. We did have quite of a mishap on our last sail, which I didn't get any video on because we had some pretty bad weather. And I can tell you more about that later and show you at least a little video we got from it. But today is a perfect day. We're sailing here on the bay. And while we're sailing, I just want to show you one thing that we installed, and that's Starlink. And I'll show you the antenna here in a second. There's my first mate who sprained her foot during our last trip, where we had, I don't know, about 4-foot seas and 28 knots of wind.
Hello station. This is United States Coast Guard Sector Mount Shaw, United States Coast Guard Sector Mount Shaw, break. Time, 14:20 Greenwich Mean Time, 10:20 local time. The previously reported John boat taking on water is no longer in need of assistance. Cancel that call. Break.
Gust.
Um, 28 knots, and we could not get across the bay. We got back to the marina safely, which was a good deal.
But we were soaked.
We were soaked, that's right. Waves were coming over the boat and right over the bow here and into the cockpit, believe it or not. But today is a whole different story. It is about as perfect as you can get for sailing today. Here's a really good look at the Starlink antenna. It's actually a Starlink Mini, but it does a pretty darn good job.
What happened?
As you can see, we seem to have lost most of our wind. We got about 2.5 knots over the rail here. And we're going 7 knots, 0.7 knots. So my usual procedure is to wait it out for a while, about 15-20 minutes, to see what happens. Well, we got about 4 knots of wind now, a little over. It's not going to go over 5, I don't think. But we're almost close hauled, and we're doing pretty good. We're doing around 3 knots speed, which is impressive for this boat. But this boat is known for sailing well in light winds because she's so light. So I think we're doing all right. It's a quiet, aside from the radio and the Coast Guard, it's a quiet sail. Well, my mother would often tell me, be grateful for what you have. And I guess I should be grateful for the wind we had to start off this trip today, day sail. But as you can see, the rags are just hanging. We are going like maybe 1.2 knots right now. And it's been that way for at least a half hour. And looking around me, it doesn't look hopeful. So there's only one thing to do. Since we don't live in 1726 but 26, we can start the engine and make our way back. All right, Bev, start the engine up. Somebody's jammed. I don't know. I think I'm cross. I gotta go forward.
Okay.
Oh no, you stay here. I think I know what it is. Stay behind the wheel.
I help.
Taps itself.
Oh.
So. All right, put it through, yeah. Now pull the rest through so we get, make sure there's no tangle. Okay. Well, that worked out better than I expected. Well, now we're getting somewhere. The problem I had with the furler is that if I let it out too fast, which I did when we first started to sail, and I knew I did it, and that this might happen, sometimes, I don't know how, the furling line overwraps itself in the drum, so when you pull it in, it gets jammed. In the past, I had to take down the sail, but since there was hardly any wind, which was fortunate because of this problem, I was able to just untangle it in the drum, roll the sail up on the foredeck there, and then bring the furling line back. Now, there's always going to be a problem on a boat. What depends on is how you handle it. And sometimes you just got to practice the stuff. Sometimes you got to make it up as you go. Hey, thanks for joining us on this sail. Started out great. In the beginning, I thought I was going to have to reef, but here we are with 2 knots of wind. And they did predict this. So now we're going to go back to the marina, probably take a rest, take some showers, and get ready for Crab Fest. Yes, it's the annual Crab Fest at Harrington Harbor South, and we don't want to miss that. See you all later.